tonight I've been called to a home in Leicester by the homeowner, a very nervous homeowner, reporting poltergeist activity and unexplained phenomena which has been spanning approximately 2 years.
I moved into this house almost 2 years ago, and it wasn't long before I realised that things weren't quite right. I'd only been here for about 2 weeks when I sat in here eating my tea, and I could hear things hitting the floor in the bathroom, which is the other end of the house. And when I went into the bathroom, I found each piece of my makeup had been taken out of my makeup bag and it had been thrown onto the floor. I've also had a wicker basket thrown in my dining room off my table. That's been thrown on the floor, and my partner has also witnessed mugs being moved off the kitchen surface and just smashed on the floor. He's also had the door which goes from the lounge into the dining room slammed into his face as well. At times I find it quite frightening being here on my own, and like last night I didn't get to sleep till about 3 o'clock in the morning because I can hear things moving around in the wardrobe, and basically I'm hoping that Don can throw some light on it for me and help me.
This is Don Phillips. This evening I'm here in Leicester answering a call from Steph. Steph has been here for a couple of years and has been experiencing, to all intents and purposes, what you can only describe as paranormal activity. Steph, absolutely fantastic to meet you.
Nice to meet you too,
at
Don.
last. And we literally only spoke yesterday and I'm here today. You were described on the phone. Some of the things that you actually said that you sound quite alarming. I mean, tell me what's been happening, Steph.
I've been having activity in the house since I've lived here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had doors have been slamming, I've had mugs have been thrown across the room, I've had somebody in my daughter's bedroom playing with her games and going through her school bag.
You did mention that on the phone to me very briefly, so just tell me a bit more about that. In your daughter's rooms, you could hear noises.
Well, I was awoken by about 3:45 in the morning, and I could hear her duck game playing, and it took me a few minutes to go in because I was quite frightened myself, to be honest. But when I actually went into the room, the game actually stopped. But I then went over to my daughter, and she said that she'd heard somebody going through a school bag and taking things out.
Oh, your daughter was there at the time?
She was in bed.
She was actually in the same
in
room?
In the bed, yes. But she was too scared to move.
She was hiding under the covers or something?
Yeah.
She was quite literally?
She was hiding under the covers.
Who was the first person to notice something maybe amiss? I mean, I know you've been here a couple of years, but was it you or your daughter?
It was myself.
It was you?
Yes.
Was that in relation to something that you mentioned earlier about the makeup being on the floor, going on the floor?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Okay. Now, also you've had some sleepless nights as well.
Yes, I've not had much sleep at all lately because the activity seems to be in my bedroom quite a lot with just noises. It's mainly coming from the wardrobe.
Now, I will mention at this stage, we are, to all intents and purposes, opposite a church and a cemetery, aren't we? Which is not very far at all, is it?
No.
So there's also mention, you mentioned something about there may be tunnels running under maybe your house or the street to the actual cemetery, to the church.
Yes.
What makes you think that?
I've been told, because I do bell ring at St Peter's Church, and we've talked about this before, but I have been told by local people that do history on Oby that there are tunnels that go from the church to two pubs across the road, but also there's tunnels all around this area.
You showed me a photograph earlier, which I found extremely interesting. I am presented with many photographs from a lot of people over the years, but this one I do find extremely interesting. We will actually show that later, a little bit later. Can you just explain though how you come to take that photograph and, well, how you come to find out what was in it? Because when you initially took the photograph you couldn't see anything, could you?
No.
So what happened?
I was asleep in bed and was awoken by all I could describe as somebody was leaning over me. I could actually sense that there was...
You couldn't see anybody, you could actually
No.
sense it?
No, I couldn't see the person, but I could sense that there was a person leaning over me and looking at me. So I picked my phone up and took a picture where I thought this person was standing. And when I went back to sleep, but when I looked at it in the morning, the picture was blank.
There was nothing there?
There was nothing on the picture at all.
But you went one stage further. You were still convinced that you could feel the presence of somebody. So you sent the photograph to top photographers in London to see if they could enhance it, didn't they?
Yes, I did.
They then sent it back to you, and it's really is very interesting. Let's just take a look at that now. Visual pareidolia is where perceived images of faces, figures or objects can be seen in random patterns or formations due to lighting conditions, shadows and other variables. On this occasion, I don't believe this was the case. Over the years, I've been presented with hundreds of photographs claiming to be evidence of ghosts. To date, I find most of them extremely unconvincing. However, there is a handful I find of significant interest. I was about to add another photograph to that handful. So how did you feel when you seen that? That must have been quite frightening.
Well, when the photo actually came back, to be honest, I wasn't expecting anything to be on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I knew that there was somebody leaning over.
Have you ever heard of pareidolia?
No.
Okay, that's where the brain will interpret patterns in pictures, and you will actually see things that are really not there. When you actually first mentioned it on the phone to me, I thought that could be the case, but to be perfectly honest with you, Steph, looking at that looks like something a lot more than pareidolia. What I will do, I'm going to enhance that further for you, and we'll bring an update on that a little bit later on.
Okay, lovely, thank you.
Okay, we've just heard from Steph. I'm sure you'll agree. Very harrowing account of what's actually been taking place, or at least what Steph believes to have been taking place in her home. We're going to have a little look around very, very shortly. Steph's going to show us around. But what about that picture? That was really something. So you also said that you've had activity in your bedrooms?
Yes, yes, in both bedrooms.
Okay.
This is the room where I took that photograph.
Oh, the one where you was in your bed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was laying in bed, just here asleep, and about where you're standing was where I felt him looking at me.
that's where you felt a presence?
Yes. Yeah.
And what did you do then?
I picked my phone up quickly and took a photo where I thought he was standing. I've had the television shaken.
What, that television? Like that?
More so than that. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you sure it wasn't a lorry or something going by that may cause vibration?
No,
I mean, I know it's a little street outside, but what time of day was that?
it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. There was no lorries or buses going by because I've thought about that myself.
So it is a very tight
So-
street, I've got to say, outside. And to be honest, I would have thought you'd have heard it even if that was the case.
Well, you'd struggle to get a lorry up
Okay.
this road, to be honest.
Okay, for the other night, we heard from Stephanie giving her account of the things that she'd been experiencing in this family home. Now I'm here with her daughter. This is Emma. Emma, your mum told me about a toy that was actually going off in your room or something. I mean, do you want to tell me about that? Are you happy to tell me about that?
Yeah, like I think it's about 4 a.m. One morning we heard like this little toy thing,
Mm-hmm.
activate by itself.
A toy thing? What kind of toy was it?
It was just like one of them things that you press a button and then it plays, makes sounds. And
Had it ever actually gone off on its own before?
no, it hasn't.
And you have to press a button for it to activate?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Was it among a load of other toys, or was it sitting on its own, or was there something on top of it? Can you remember?
I think there was one box on top of it, but it's been there before, but it's never played.
Okay. So, presumably, you didn't actually think there was anything strange about that. Okay, the toy went off, but you wouldn't actually think that it was anything to do with something paranormal, would you?
No.
No?
No.
But you felt uneasy about it at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what happened? I mean, I'm a little bit confused because, okay, the toy went off. Most people would just think, oh, okay, the toy's gone off on its own, that's strange, and switch it back off again. So how did you react? What did you think? And how did your mum react? Can you remember?
Well, I just woke up and I heard a strange sound.
Yeah.
And it was coming near the door, and then I was just about to go up and have a look, see what it was, and then my mum came in.
You heard a strange sound?
Yeah, like the sound of it.
Oh, the actual toy?
Yeah.
And then your mum come in?
Yeah.
I think I want to speak to your mum again in a minute, actually, to see how she made the link between the toy going off and it possibly being something not normal.
Yeah.
You know. Now, obviously, you were aware about the other things that have been taking place here. How does that actually make you feel?
Probably just a bit.
Little bit uneasy.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the most recent incident that you've actually experienced, or if it was a while ago, that's fine. Just say, well, nothing for quite a while, because I know that a lot of it seems to be surrounding your mother. So, is that the only experience that you can tell us about, or is there something else, that uneasy feelings, sounds in your bedrooms, anything like that?
Well, sometimes at night I do hear like some banging noises sometimes.
Bang. Well, that's interesting, because your mother's reporting strange banging sounds coming from her bedroom, actually specifically the wardrobe, which we are going to actually check into very, very shortly. What I will just explain, this is actually a separate evening. When I was last here, we tried to take some recordings. It was very, very cloudy, it was very, very rainy, and which obviously impeded what I was actually trying to achieve. Since then, there's been further development, so let's cut over to Steph right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
The reason the board game didn't go off again is because I actually threw it out because I just couldn't stand it anymore.
Okay, so we've heard from Steph, we've heard from her daughter Emma, and both are convinced there's something going on in this family home. When I actually arrived, I was pretty sure I could feel a spirit presence. It wasn't particularly strong, and I think it's fair to say that throughout the duration of the time I've been here this evening, which has now been probably about 2.5 hours, that it's pretty much the same. It is very, very flat. Now, that's not saying that there's nothing going on here. Quite often I've been in places and it's changed as quick as that. Obviously, as I've mentioned many, many times before, the environmental conditions have a lot to do with it. Nevertheless, I am going to try and communicate and speak with whoever or whatever may be in this house. So I'm going to do that now for a few minutes. I would invite any spirits in this house, good, bad or indifferent, to come and approach me. I need to know what's been happening in this house. I've been getting reports of things moving, which basically we would call poltergeist activity. If there's somebody here that actually is trying to get attention, you've got it. So now, someone's with me now. I'll press these recorders. You'll have 10 seconds to reply before I stop and play it back. So you've got something you want to say, now's your chance to do so. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to speak to whoever or whatever's actually been moving things in here and making this family a little bit nervous. Thanks, Becky. Sorry, I've got to get cosy at the minute. Just move your leg forward. They can't see me on the floor, don't they?
Right.
Okay, so I'm just going to play this one. One more time. What do you hear there? Do you think?
Yes, it's a poltergeist.
Yes, there's a poltergeist. That's what I'm getting from it. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Play one more time. Let me play it to the microphone. Now, Steph, I did say to you, what I will do is I'll play this with a bigger speaker so you can hear it more clearly, because I'm impressed you actually can hear that, because you're not actually used to it, are you?
No.
In fact, off camera, Steph just says to me what exactly is a poltergeist, so we'll go into that later in some detail.
Okay.
Now, we took another recording as well, which sounds, I will say what I think this sounds like. It sounds like, leave us. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a male gentleman. It's certainly not static, it's certainly not interference. And how quiet is it while we're taking these recordings, Steph?
It's very quiet.
You can hear a drop.
Pin drop.
I think that says leave us. Again, not 100% sure, got to check it, but point being, Steph, there shouldn't be anything.
No.
There shouldn't be any sound at all.
No.
Any sound at all. Now, one of the things that Steph was actually reporting is banging coming from one of the wardrobes upstairs, so we're going to investigate that now. I'm going to pop up there. Now, what I intend to do is put a camera, this camera, on for a limited period of time in the bedroom on that wardrobe and leave a digital recorder there as well. But also we will empty the wardrobe, Steph, see if there's anything else, if there's any holes. There could be some kind of transference of air or something causing something to bang. We don't know. We're here to look for answers. That's what we're going to do. So, Steph, I was just saying about the wardrobe. You reported sounds
Yes.
coming from the wardrobe.
There's been a lot of sounds coming from the wardrobe.
Okay. Is that like loud banging sounds, or is
No.
it any particular time in the morning? You tell me.
It can be anything from about 11:45 till about 4 in the morning.
It's now 12:30, so it's probably getting around that time, Steph. So we're going to go upstairs now. We're going to do what I've just said, and then we're going to review the tape, review the recordings, see if we've captured any strange sounds, bangings, or if we can find some kind of other explanation, Steph.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be good.
Okay, so we've got to be a little bit quiet because Emma, Steph's daughter, is actually asleep in bed. Okay, we're in Steph's room now. These are the actual, these are the wardrobes that we were just talking about. So now we're going to get that set up, and well, who knows, see if we can find anything out, see if we can discover why Steph's reporting banging. I mean, these are quite light wooden doors, so if there's some kind of air coming up, we could just maybe be doing it. I don't know. I wasn't here to experience what Steph's witnessed, but let's get it set up and let's just see how we get on. Incredibly, during shooting this video, the video camera picked up this male voice which clearly says, "I love her." Could this voice be a match to the male figure that Stephanie had captured in her photograph? Now we was presented with even more questions than when we began, and the plot thickened. Now, Stephanie's reported a whole array of things going on in her house. And the wardrobe, we need to check out the wardrobe very, very shortly. She's hearing lots of noises. There's been a figure that's actually been seen walking towards the, well, where was it, Steph? Did you say that, sorry, Stephanie, where did you say that this figure had been seen?
He's been seen in the corner of my bedroom, which is right next to the wardrobe.
By just you?
No, he's been seen by a lady that lived there before me as well.
Oh, this was the previous tenant, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. He's also been seen in the back bedroom by her son as well. So.
But Stephanie, would I also be correct in saying that before you bought this property, the previous occupant actually said to you, this place is haunted?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, she did. Yeah.
She did.
She
Did she describe what she'd actually experienced?
She'd actually seen the chap in the bedroom next to the wardrobe when she was painting with her friend.
In the same place that you've actually
Yes.
seen the same...
Yes, that's right.
And can I just ask you, Stephanie, is it a figure, or can you actually make out details of this chap? What does he look like? I mean, the viewers will want to know. Is it just a shadow? Is it a black mass? Is it just...
I've only personally seen him as a shadow. The lady who lived there before me and her son saw this gentleman dressed as a highwayman.
A highwayman?
Yes.
Now, that's quite interesting, because the actual photograph that you submitted to me, you know, it's sort of 17th, 18th century. Now, guys, I've already shown you this photograph, but the thing is, the hairstyle, you know, I've got no doubt. Now, I know a lot of people say, like I said before, this is pareidolia. I actually don't think this is pareidolia. That, to me, looks like a face. And if I was going to be put on the spot, I would say 18th, 18th century kind of style. You know, just his appearance, Stephanie. So, you know, very, very interesting case. We're going to crack on now. We'll try a couple of recordings. We'll head over to the other church, which is closer to Stephanie's. Then we'll head back to Stephanie's and we'll take some recordings and play them through the amp. So we'll be back very, very shortly. Quite interestingly, what we've done now, we've just retrieved the recorder from your bedroom. And was it the one on the bed or the one in the closet? It was the one in the closet, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we got a very distinctive, very clear, well, statement really. What did he say, Stephanie? Was it, it's Matthew or I am Matthew?
He said it's Matthew.
It's Matthew, yeah. Now, what happened was, we just pressed record, put it in the closet, and that was it. And it was just straight away, wasn't it?
Yes.
I've not even checked this yet, because these have been running for, how long was it, an hour and a half or something? And also the video camera as well, which we're on now. I will check these when I get back, and obviously it will be included in what we're actually doing. Right now, what we decided to do is try and take some recordings. Now, Steph is going to go through the deeds and look for a Matthew. If we can get a surname, that'd be fantastic. But also, what I'm going to actually do tomorrow, the cemetery, which is a stone's throw away, I'm going to go in there and see. Well, obviously I'm going to look for a Matthew, because I might find one or two. But if we can get a Matthew, somebody off the deeds, which is purely speculative at the moment, yeah, and that name matches one in the cemetery, and then we get a guy saying it's Matthew, that's pretty good. That would be quite coincidental, wouldn't it? So we'll see if we can take any recordings. Now, normally it takes about 20 minutes for the energy to build. So I don't know how long, we haven't got that much time now, have we? But we'll persevere. But what we will do also, the Matthew one I've just mentioned, we will play through a bigger speaker for people to hear. All right, Stephanie?
Yes.
How are you feeling right now? Intrigued?
I am very intrigued.
Yeah.
I'd just like to, if I can, find out who it is.
Anyway, we're going to just let the atmosphere settle a little bit right now. We have got a candle there. So you think we should blow that out so we're in total night vision? No, we'll leave it for now. It's okay. It's okay. I'll press record when I feel something, because what I'm going to say now is I'd invite any spirit personalities, any spirit people of the house to come forward and come and join us. You know why we're here. We're not here with big boots on. We're here out of interest and sincerity. We're trying to find information, aren't we?
Yes.
Stephanie is aware that you are here. We're not sure what happened with the whole cup thing earlier, but we can bypass that for now, can't we? So, is there anybody here, Matthew, or anybody else that would like to engage with us? This is your time. It's your voice. You know, this is your moment. Anything that you want to say, it's not just us you're going to be speaking to. There's going to be a lot of people watching this. When I press these recorders, you'll have 10 seconds to reply. After that, I'm not going to hear you, so you're going to have to do it as soon as I hit the buttons. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
Becky, if I can hear you, I mean, I don't know at the moment. The conditions outside look pretty calm. It's a bit windy. I don't know if it's cloudy, but if I can hear you, Becky, absolutely fine. Thank you. Does that say Matthew again?
All of a sudden, there was a loud bang.
Possibly. I'll check that. You wait there. Oh,
What?
I've got a strength here now. Stay there. This is strong. Hello? Jeez. It's all over me. Hello?
I was slightly taken back by the strength in the doorway. I wasn't expecting it to be so much and so sudden. This distracted me from my original intention, which was to investigate the sound, the banging. What was it and where had it come from?
Okay, Stephanie, it's starting to come thick and fast now. The energy's just increased, really strong. Just as I went to go out that doorway, whoosh. Okay, now there's a bang out there. I don't
She's frightened to death. Look at her.
know. I don't know what that was, but Stephanie, hang on, listen. Yeah, all the dogs really now looking very, very nervous. Listen to this. I'm trying to explain things to you. When I watched the doorway, and this is really strong. Okay. To me, at that time, it felt stronger than what I would associate with it being a spirit person, but I didn't say anything. But when that happens, it allows him to speak louder because there's more energy. And I took the recording, and there's something there. I just wanted to do something for my own investigative mind. I've just gone through your doorway and followed the strength. It extends to the doorway, but it's not from the doorway. It's actually coming right from the top of your stairs. I went up there and my face literally went numb as I walked upstairs. I walked towards the stairs, it got stronger and stronger, got up there, my face was numb. Okay. That is representative of one thing.
I know what you're going to say.
A portal. Now, interesting enough, you said the activity starts to occur around about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I've just glanced at my watch. What time does that say?
4 o'clock.
That's 10 past 4. So, at the time I was supposed to be leaving, can we squeeze another hour in? This is where, now I was in the doorway just here, and it felt really, really strong. I took a recording, there was obviously something there, but I followed it. This strength then went from there. Okay, so as I followed it, it got very strong here. As soon as I hit the bottom of the stairs and started going up, I realised actually what it was and what we were up against. Because right at the top of these stairs, let me take it out of night vision. I have absolutely no doubt of what it was I was feeling. Actually, no doubt at all of what the situation is, and that is definitely, without doubt, a portal. So, Steph.
At the moment, I'm actually terrified.
No, you just said something quite interesting to me. I says, I'm going to tell you where it was, and you said, I think I'm going to, you know when I felt the strength, you said, I think
I just had a feeling it was at the top of the stairs near the beam, near the wooden beam.
You said that. Why did you say that, Stephanie?
I don't know. Because I've had a lot of activity with the bedroom door shaking and things. I just had a feeling.
But that could be something in your bedroom. What made you think top of the stairs?
I don't know.
Okay, everything's a bit chaotic. I think we was going to the garage. I've not got the proper camera. I've got the camcorder on it. It's going to be rubbish sound. You will recollect earlier that we heard a bang. Possibly. I'll check that. You wait there. And we've just made a little discovery, haven't we, Steph? Earlier, I went to investigate the bang. I told Stephanie to wait there. I didn't even get anywhere because I got to the door, felt the energy, took a recording. There was something on there which we will check later. We've just been to the top of the stairs. We've just come back down, gone to go in the living room, glanced over, and we've just found in the kitchen a load of books that's on the floor, haven't we, Steph?
We have.
So, Steph, just come on camera. I need to ask you, how long have them books, I mean, I apologise for the lighting, it's not perfect, but you know, how long have them books actually been stood up there quite happily?
The books have been there for at least 8 weeks.
For about 8 weeks, and it just coincides with around that time that this bang, obviously the dogs came flying in, scared to death. I'll show you these books now. There's 2 books on the floor there. You Are What You Eat and Food Doctor. Oh, you're very healthy then, Steph. And that's where they've come from now. It would be argued, it could be argued, Steph,
Yes,
quite rightly, that they've
that.
just fallen over. So let's just see how easily they fall over. Right, there's the books. Look, they actually cannot fall. It takes a lot to actually move them. Even if you... These was on the floor right down here.
Yeah.
I can't get them to fall and reach this far down. But they wasn't like that, was they? They was kind of like this.
I always tilt them so that they don't.
And there's no way they're going to move on their own. No way.
The woman is trying to replicate the books falling off of the shelves. That's assuming they had in fact fallen off the shelves. We flicked them hard, we flicked them soft. Even when they did leave the shelf, they landed at the foot of the shelf and certainly not 1 or 2 feet away from the shelf. Also then we have to take into consideration the angle and the position on which the books lay. Certainly the sound that we heard was quite conducive to books being dropped from a height. We can't claim 100% that this was paranormal phenomena, but it never happened before and it was certainly unexplained at this time. Stephanie had previously stated that activity began around about 4 o'clock. We've already established it was now 10 past 4 and at the same time as I'd felt this energy build up in the doorway. So was it purely coincidental that these books and the sound were brought to our attention at the same time as is what I consider to be the portal opening at the top of the stairs? When we returned, we began checking through the deeds. Disembodied voice captured on the camera, the photos and the books all add to the case and support Stephanie's accounts of activity taking place in her home. If you enjoy my work and wish to support me and this channel, then please do subscribe. Also visit my page, The Supernatural Files, on Facebook. Thanks for watching.